This is Rio, Madison Rising.
I'm Sam.
Tom.
Dave.
DaBelly magazine. And we're here to rock and melt those faces.
Boom.
You know, I don't have your album yet, but I did. I know.
What?
Oh no!
We'll edit that in post.
Wait, listen. I do have that album.
That's so funny. Well, we have to fix that.
That's where the edit comes.
Yes. But I did listen to what you had online, and that was one of it. And the thing is you guys can all go. Yes, I'm from the Midwest. That's why you guys.
It's all good.
But you guys reached the heavy aspect, but then when I listened to Madeline, you kind of step it back to where you guys not really were, but you know, it still gives you the sound of Madison Rising.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a couple soft songs on the album, really.
Yeah.
It was a good mix, you know.
Right.
But I think also the just the production of the album itself, just the quality and the fidelity of the sound was something that greatly improved from the past records. It's really something that we'd be proud to have on the radio, and everything was just engineered and mixed and mastered to a level that I think is well beyond our past records.
Right.
Very proud of the final
AJ
product.
did an amazing job.
Yeah, AJ was great. Dan and Dan Malsh at Soundmind Studios. These guys. AJ, of course, is a member. He's actually in the studio right now. I just got a message from him. He's doing some stuff with a rap artist, which doesn't sound real bad.
It seems like he's always working with the rappers these days.
He stepped away to do some projects in the studio, and Dave has now become the 5th member. So now we have 2 great guitarists and at our disposal. And during the album creation, AJ did a great job, and Dan did a great job. And now it sounds like the production value is a step up from the past. I think that I'll toot the horn a little bit. I think the album's a little bit probably the best that Madison Rising put out.
Yeah.
But we wanted it to be something that you can be proud of, and if you look throughout and listen to it, there's several standalone singles on that album. So it's something that you can put in and listen from front to back.
Yeah. Right. One of the songs that stuck out for me was "Dangerous." I really liked that song.
Yeah.
So I mean, I listened to it like 3 or 4 times. I could listen to them on your website, and I thought that I just okay. I didn't come to bed till like midnight last night. I was like, "You coming to bed?"
Great.
Yeah, I talked to. There's some people that messaged me yesterday, as a matter of fact, about Dangerous, and one guy was like, "Oh, it sounds a lot like Shinedown," and I was like, "Well, thank you."
Yeah, awesome. Right on.
Are you? Is that a jab? Because if that's a jab, I will absolutely take it. You do know that they are one of the best rock bands, modern mainstream rock bands out there right now. So if we, inadvertently sound like them, then
I'll take it.
Then thanks a lot. We did something.
And we got to tour with Shinedown, which we did a couple shows.
And maybe that's why.
Maybe it rubbed off because "Dangerous" was the first song that we came up with for the new album. We kind of started feeling it out, playing it live a couple months before we even got into the studio.
Yeah.
And we were like, I think we're onto something. Let's get this on the record, and that started the process for the whole album.
So tell us a little bit about the song "Dangerous," because I don't know if all your fans heard that song yet. So go on about it.
Okay, Dangerous is kind of an ode to that American fighting style. We're going to be slower to react, but when we get there, we'll take some of the battles across the globe. You don't want us to get involved, because once we get involved, it's the old coin, the phrase "shock and awe." It's once it happens, you're messing with us, and it's like a rattlesnake. You're dangerous. So in that, the lyrics kind of say, if you close your eyes, you're gonna miss a show, because we're gonna wait, and when it's time for us to make action, we're gonna do it. And that's it's an ode to the good American fighting spirit, that pride that and that nationalism that's the U.S. needs to have. And it seems like right now at this point there's a big divide in, when I was growing up, and I'm sure these guys were growing up, it was, the U.S. is the beacon, and everyone on the globe looks to the U.S. And if you're in the U.S., we were talking about this today, is you don't really realize Europe follows our politics. They follow us more than we do.
Just said that to somebody the other day. How funny!
Yeah.
Because I said, "Yeah, do you know that we're setting the standards?" Because you see,
world.
everybody is just berating, our president. So what do? They turn around and they're starting to berate their king and queen. It's like,
We set the standard, and unfortunately, there's a standard that's they're lowering the bar, and it's pretty sickening to stand by and watch, and and we'll talk. I'm sure that you'll hit it.
yeah, I'm sure. The other one that I was talking about was you're encompassing the all. I didn't say that right. Encompassing everything. So what you're doing is you're not even, you're hitting on your tradition of being very patriotic, but you're bringing it into the limelight of, this is for everybody.
Exactly.
And this is, our sound isn't just one thing. It's everything.
It's multifaceted. Yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
Right. And how are your fans taking to the new sound, per se?
Well, at the start, when we first started telling them we're going to make another album, they stepped out, and the patriotic community is a very fickle community.
Yeah.
So with that, loyalty is number one. So once they heard this, they were like, "You better not go away from the," and they're letting you know right away. So as we put this thing together, we let them know right away. It's going to be cryptic writing. It's going to be something that, if you're a patriot, if you love that whole community, you love the U.S. and everything it stands for, you will find the meaning of that song, because we never change. Our stance hasn't changed.
Right.
The way that it's presented, the meal that you're going to partake of, it's got a little more salt on it. It's a little, maybe more spice. It's got something different. And
Or meat.
or meat gets thick.
Can't be a vegan.
So then on the outside here's something to remember, fans, is like we were alluding to earlier. These guys were created, and they've got so big that there was a subgenre created just because these guys were there. There was something there, and they created it. But once you're there, you can't get any bigger.
Right.
You're at the top of what they are, and we were at the top of what Madison Rising is. And in order to get bigger, you're going to have to get people who don't know. When you hear that patriotic rock band, it's like Christian rock band. It's any other title thrown onto just a rock band.
Right.
So whether if you don't want to hear Christian lyrics that has it, you may not even know what they talk about. Don't want to listen. No, it's not going to be good.
Right.
Patriotic rock, you just pass right by. But in order to build the community and the support, you're going to have to go outside of it. So we built it to where we can go outside to more mainstream rock. More mainstream listeners become more mainstream patriotic fans. So, you build it the way kind of backdoor them before they know it. They like the music. It's too late. We got you.
Yeah. There's one thing that a lot of people don't kind of really understand. There is a difference between being patriotic and being a patriot. Don't you find that to be the truth?
Interesting.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Say it again, the question?
Being patriotic is
Right.
being different than being a patriot.
I would
There's
say-
one thing to be a patriot, but there's another to be patriotic. You can be patriotic and fly your flag all you want,
Right.
but being a patriot is,
Oh, okay,
are
I
you going
see,
to
I
step
see.
up to the plate?
Sure.
The action versus saying it versus doing it.
Yeah.
Walking the walk, so to speak.
Yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
It's very true. It's very true.
And you need all of them. You need the patriots that will fly the flags and
Right.
you know,
You need 'em all.
and now stand for the national anthem and say the pledge of allegiance.
Right.
And then you need the patriots who, if things go down,
It's a
that'll
culture,
come to action.
right?
And that's where our latest single came out.
Mhm.
You know, it's not on the record. We felt the need that it needed to be out there, and coming up November 4th, apparently there's some, there's a call to action on the other side. So we had decided at one point that, being the voice for the tip of the spear for this community, that we need to do something. So what we did at that point was we went in the studio and created a song called War, where it lets.
And it gets
Antifa.
misinterpreted a lot.
Yeah.
Because we've had people like, you guys are inciting, violence. Like, no,
Right.
we're definitely not. It could be easily misconstrued that way.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not inciting violence. It's saying you have the freedom of your speech. You have your freedom but you don't have the freedom to destroy. You don't have the freedom to intimidate, and you definitely don't have the freedom to touch. And once you do that and you cross the line, beware of what you're asking for, because really you're playing with people that are patriots.
Right.
I've got brothers and sisters that we've been shot at, they've been shot at, and instead of running, they're walking towards it. And I'm going to tell you, if you have never seen it, and most of you in this nation will never see it, if you have never seen an individual walking towards fire with no fear, now that's inspiring.
Yeah.
Put yourself on the other side. If you're firing at him or her and you see somebody walking through there with no fear, by God, you're going to be fearing for your life, because you just messed with the wrong person. And as far as war goes, is you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing. You best watch out what you're doing. Now Big Brother's going to put the smack down. So war comes, and that's the song that we've said, this is it. November 4th, you want to declare war? Well, Patriots might say November 5th, it's over with. And that's what you don't
Be
want.
careful.
Right.
But stylistically, that song, it could have fit on the earlier albums.
Yeah.
Right.
Battered Not Broken. We wanted to expand our horizons a little, and give a more multifaceted approach. But we are still Madison Rising. We still have the same ideals, and that song War. You put it on one of our albums from 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't even know. Could fit right in.
Right.
So we kind of have these two avenues that we're writing in, for sure.
Yeah, that's fun.
But the thing is you're not just for the veterans or the military. You're for all those who are public servants.
Yeah.
For those that
First
are first
responders.
responders.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that time, people think that it's only the military. You only think about the military. You only think about you forget that there are the police. They get up every morning.
Mm-hmm.
They go out the door. They might not come home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's true.
And our second album, American Hero, wasn't just for military. It was for any first responder, anyone that answers that call to service. That second album, the entire concept was all about those ladies and gentlemen.
Right, totally.
Thinking violence is what's on wall.